Good morning, welcome to Pink Salt Shed TV. I'm Kate Salter and it's Friday the 26th of February today and it's a beautiful day. It's absolutely fabulous. You can probably see that in here it's a lot brighter than it normally is. I've got some light but the sunshine is just streaming through. It's beautiful. Right, now today's show is one I've really been looking forward to. I've been talking to Katrina for a few weeks now about what we can do together and she's just been so busy cooking, which is fabulous, and food is my thing, so I'm delighted. I love hearing about all the creations that she's creating for people. But the focus today as well is on over the last year it's all been really doom and gloom, really downhearted. We've felt very grey. There's been not a lot of sunshine in our lives, in our faces, and it's just the focus has been on all of the devastation which is out there. I mean, it's absolutely real, don't get me wrong. This is all about the last year, the pains of it, the chaos of it, and what everybody has been forced into having to do to cope and survive. But somewhere in this last year there have been doors closing and doors opening as well. And today, for me, it's very much a case of congratulating those that have opened doors and seen that there have been opportunities to flourish in a different area of their life or in a different way with what they do. I think so much focus has been on the negative, naturally, but I would like to focus on some of that positive as well. I think it's really important that we should all congratulate some of the successes and clap those who have done well, because they are just trying to do what everybody's trying to do: survive and look after them families themselves and those near and dear in their lives. So that's what today is about, as well as the food side of things. It's always got to have something to do with food. So what I would ask you to do is, and this is where we might be even to drift off into another little world for a moment, but imagine when there was life without children in our lives, and when we were in the romantic throes of a relationship where you were just with your beloved a lot, and imagine when you used to travel. We used to be able to travel to far-flung places and enjoy time away in a different country. Well, Katrina did a lot of that, and in her time going to these different countries, she was, yes, a tourist, but she would go to these different places and go off the beaten track. She would, and Dave, her husband, now husband, would visit places that weren't always on the tourist trail. They would go to cafes and bars. Now I'm talking a bit foodie here. They would go to cafes and bars and places that the locals would go to, and in that they would experience the culture and the different types of food, the different types of cooking, the recipes, the production of everything that they were tasting and experiencing. And each time, Katrina would come back bringing some of that magic with her, which she now puts into all of her own creations. So her career has been vast. She's done many, many things. And having learnt about all of these different delights along the way, you hear the phrase made with love. I think Katrina is that. So a lot of people who are foodies like to, their gift of giving is to feed and to get people to enjoy what it is that they're making. That's their way of giving gratitude and giving friendship and love to people. And that might be a little bit woo, but it's true. People that love food love to feed, and Katrina has made a career out of that. She's in just the best placed position. She loves food, and of course that's her job as well. But bring it a little bit more current. When she landed in Longcompton in November 2019, that was at a time where the family was there. There were two, became three, and it was time to settle a little bit. Well, everything kind of flipped on its head. Dave's business, which was in the travel industry, went a bit dormant, and Katrina's business that she wanted to set up when she'd moved to the Cotswolds started to take off. So she's seen everything sort of rotate and flip around, and now of course we're here to talk about her great successes with how she has made her business flourish by nourishing people in the local area. So we're going to go and chat to Katrina and to ask her about her career and how she's done it, how she has actually sort of got to the stage and the place where she is now. So let's welcome Katrina Good morning.
Morning, Kate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. Are you okay?
Good. Yeah, enjoying the sunshine today. It's pretty
Yes,
beautiful.
it is beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, thank you. Now, we've got lots of notes on what it is that we want to talk about, and I think the best place to start would be how you got into food, the food industry, and where it took you, and how you got to where you were in, let's say, November 2019. Quite precise, but I think that's a good starting point for the journey of your sort of food business success. What were you doing sort of before all of that that got you here?
Sure. To take you right back, it sort of is a little bit of about my background as a cook, as a chef. I started off as a very fussy eater as a child. My mother despaired with me, and she thinks it's the most hysterical thing that I've become a chef. But it's one of those things that I came from a foodie family. My grandmother was a brilliant chef. My mum's a great cook. Um, Food was always a big part of our life, and entertaining as well. So it was sort of it was in my blood. And after leaving school, like a lot of 17, 18-year-olds, I had no idea what I really wanted to do in life. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people find themselves in that position.
Yes.
Um, I knew that I wanted to travel. I knew that I wanted to see the world. I came from a tiny little village in Scotland on the west coast, and I wanted to see the big world. I wanted to see London. I wanted to travel. I just wanted
Spread
to
your
go.
wings.
And exactly. And my mum just kept saying, you've got to have a course. You've got to have something that can fund your travels. How about
Yeah.
cooking? And I thought, okay, fantastic. Yeah, I like food. I like cooking. So I went off and did a little cooking course. And then from there, met some fantastic people who were going off to do ski seasons in the Alps. And I
Oh,
thought,
yes. Yeah.
wow, I want to go and do a ski season in the
Yeah.
Alps.
Yeah. Fabulous. I know a few people who have
Um,
done that.
and and at the time, the ski industry was booming. Chalet holidays were a big thing, and they still are, just not this year.
Yeah.
I went off and I did two ski seasons back to back, and absolutely loved it. As I think when you learn to cook and you do a little cooking course, you think, oh, and you're so young, and everything sort of, are you there for the cooking and the job? Oh, with a little bit of both, and a little bit of the après too.
Yes. Well, yeah,
But
this is
it
true.
was
This is
after
about
two.
your lifestyle as well.
It's exactly, it's the all round. A little after doing 2 years, I really felt that I had had enough. Excuse me, enough. Of an idea that food was what I wanted to go into. So
Hmm.
after that, I continued my studies. I went to Leith's in London, Leith's School of Food and Wine.
Yep.
I did a year diploma course, which I absolutely loved. It gave me the foundation to be able to do all the classics. So your
Yes.
pastries, your sauces, and
Yeah. The
everything
great
that
starting points.
absolutely. And just everything that you can then build on. And then once I finished, I graduated, I went off and I found some amazing jobs working in the film industry. I went off and did more chalets. I went off to do, in the summer times, I worked in villas all around the Med. I then uh, I then went to work on luxury yachts. I traveled all the way around the Middle East and the
I mean, this sounds
Mediterranean.
amazing. I
Um,
mean, for the traveling,
it
not
was
just the
it,
food, but yeah, for getting around places.
and as a single lady in those days, I had so much fun. And
Yeah.
working on yachts was amazing. You go into a different port every 3 days. You have
Yes.
to provision. You go around all the markets. Oh my goodness, picking tomatoes that have been brought from someone's garden, and
Yeah.
just
Food
you're in
heaven.
Greece, and it's just incredible. So this just ignited more and more and more passion in me,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to see more, do more. And every time I've got a new job, I've I've tried to change it just that little bit to do a different aspect of the foodie world. So I then moved to Australia. I did a year over there. I worked doing food styling and magazine work, and also um, so a different side of things, and which also I love. I love that sort of the styling, and I bring a little bit of that into my Instagram and things like that because I absolutely
Yes.
love taking photos.
Yes.
So yeah, from there I came back to London. I worked for families in West London. I did small, very small sort of dinner parties, things like that. It was a perfect, a lovely time to be in London.
Hmm.
Traveling around lots. I then met my husband, another foodie,
Great,
another
great.
foodie who also travels a lot. He our third date, I think it was. He said, "I'm off to Barcelona. Why don't you come?"
All right
I
then.
said, "Okay,
Yeah.
let's go." He was training tour guides. He works in the travel industry. He was training tour guides to tour their groups around Barcelona. I'd never been.
Right. Yeah.
We we end up going for lunch in Boqueria and all these markets, and again, I'm absolutely in love and falling in love with my husband at the same
Yes.
time.
Romance.
And yeah, so we got married, and along came my 4 year my daughter, and life changed a little bit, and we wanted
Yes. Yes.
slightly
God,
different
yes.
things. Little person starts running around your tiny 2 bedroom flat,
Oh
and you're
yeah, it
thinking,
changes things whether you've got a big house or a little house. This little thing demands so much of your time, sends life into a
life got
different
flipped
dimension.
totally upside down.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I thought, so things. I think it wasn't all about me and my husband's career. It's very much about how we were all going to live together
Yeah.
and do things. So I had some clients from London who have weekend homes up in the Cotswolds. I visited the Cotswolds lots. I'd had lots of. I thought it was a beautiful area. I didn't know it
It is.
before I'd doing weekends. Fell in love with the rolling countryside, and as we were house hunting, we finding all these most beautiful areas, all the villages, and just thought this is the place for us. So we rented for a
Yeah.
year, and I kept with my week who I would do their dinner parties and things like that for
Yes.
them, as well as wanting to set up on my own as a small caterer. And that's
Yeah.
and then when we moved to Long Compton, we were here. I carried on doing a little of that, and then that brings us up to lockdown, where
Yes.
where things changed dramatically
Yeah.
for us as a family, with my
Well, yeah,
husband's
because
business. So
you'd come up to this area to settle as a family. Dave was running his successful travel business, and you were wanting to start your own business, bringing everything together that you'd learnt along the way. And by and I have to say, with all the things you've done, I'm surprised you're not about 60 or 70 years old. You fitted so much in over the last, well, over your career that it's like, crikey, I'm surprised you're not ancient, but you're not. So, yes, so when you got to Long
no.
Compton, everything was supposed to be Dave doing his thing and you starting yours. But yeah, tell us how that kind of all flipped around. That must have been a real tough time.
So it was a tough time, and of course, with everything going on, there was so much uncertainty with everything. I think
Yeah.
everyone felt so anxious, and worried and apprehensive about what was going to happen. And I think at that stage, that's sorry, tech
It's all
issue.
right.
There we go. I'll take that one out. Doesn't
You
fit
only need
anyway.
one. Yeah, you only need one.
There we go.
I've got one.
Um, so what happened was, as Dave's business dropped, he works in Asian markets, so mainly with Hong Kong schools. so we saw the downturn in business before Europe did.
Ah,
So
yes,
his
okay.
his business slowed down. His trips were all starting to sort of collapse like dominoes
Yeah.
from the beginning of January. So at this stage, I think we as a family were feeling a little bit more so because we could sort of see it happening quicker.
Well, you had a bit
Um,
of a heads up in a
but
way because it started to
indeed,
unravel here more February, March time, but you kind of saw it
mm,
all around January. Crikey.
exactly. So as his trips were cancelled and he had more time, um, he said, "Well, look, if we're going into lockdown." It was our conversation the first week of lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
I said we were discussing options and things that we could do, and of course, you also, and as everyone was worried about jobs and security and things like this, you start talking about your finances
Yeah.
and just putting your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
And at this stage, I said, "Well, do you know, this is something I've always wanted to do. This might be a perfect time to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can look after Mimi
Yeah.
as much as she needs to be. Let's give it a go." And I saw that a few other restaurants were offering deliveries, and
Mm-hmm.
I just thought this just might be the opportunity that I've been looking for to start something that I'm so passionate about, and to really and and what a nice way of meeting people as well. And for
Yeah,
me, I
very
kind
true.
of we moved to a new area. We moved in the winter time. Um, it's not the kind of it's and we don't you're out walking your dogs, you meet people, things like that.
True.
It wasn't, and then people were only allowed out for an hour every day, and so we just thought, even though you're on the step back from a doorstep, you're delivering, I'm still getting to know people, which was really
Yes.
lovely as well. So for me, so it was just this natural thing that happened, a wonderful thing that happened, born from a sort of station. How could we develop what I'm currently doing and do it on a sort of slightly larger scale. And
Yes.
yes, missingredient delivery Tuesday delivery service was born.
I mean, it's amazing. Did you have a website already, or what sort of what was your platform? What did you use as your platform? Because you can't talk to people about what you're doing, so you must have had to get out there and grab an audience.
So I did have a website. I still have a website. It's a work in progress. I think we're going to be
Okay.
changing things over because as I've grown, I started off with a very basic website that I did myself from
Mm-hmm.
templates, and it to me, I'm not passionate about it. It is
Okay.
something I've done myself, and it's an online presence. But what I do is mainly I do my advertising on Facebook and
Yep.
Instagram. I
Yep.
love the visual, lots of photos, things like
Yes,
that. I put my
visuals with
menus up
food.
every week like that.
Mm-hmm. You've got to make
Mm,
people want to eat
so
that
important.
you've got. Yes.
Yes, exactly. And so from when we first started, the first advertising I did was on Nextdoor,
Okay,
for
that's an app, I
for
think. Yeah,
just
local app, isn't it? Yeah.
for the sort of local areas and surrounding villages,
Mm-hmm.
people to discuss, to sell things, to advertise things.
Yeah.
So from there, I had my first 7 clients, which was very exciting. And I thought,
So
well, this is
important.
great.
Yes, yeah, you have to
I thought
start
this is a
somewhere.
start. And then second week, I advertised there again. I also did on Instagram. I put an ad on Instagram too. I thought, okay, well, people enjoyed it. I got some lovely feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And second week, we doubled. Third week was astronomical.
Oh,
By the
wow.
third week, I had to, I had to, as the orders were coming in, Dave kept saying to me as he's been taking my orders for me. He's amazing admin. He's
Your
been my
PA,
PA.
love
It's
it.
been
Yeah.
fantastic. And as the orders started coming in, I started to go, uh-oh, what are we going to do? There's so many
Well,
orders.
yeah.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, a normal kitchen
I
can
was
only do what
starting.
for me? Meal for four?
I know. So I thought, no, don't panic. It's fine. But Dave, how quickly can you get me another fridge? I need to keep things
Yes,
cold. So we
this
were
is true. Yeah.
frantically online trying to find another fridge, which thankfully I got one delivered in 24 hours. I now have
Fabulous.
3 fridges that sit in my utility,
Yeah.
and I can keep everything as it needs to be. But it was after that. That was some clients spreading the word to. I think a lot of villages had WhatsApp groups during lockdown and things like
Yeah,
that, and
we have one
suddenly it
here.
just
Yeah.
went.
Yes.
So, and from there, it was amazing. It went from strength to strength and new clients every week.
Yep.
I have very loyal and very regular clients, which I'm so grateful for, and they're all absolutely wonderful. And I love seeing them every week as well, who enjoy something different every week, which is great.
Yes.
And we've gone from strength to strength. And so from my little kitchen here, we moved. I had a very supportive couple of clients who were sort of tracking the progress of my business in the very early days. Both come from a catering company. They own a catering company together. Their business had gone flat, like a lot of events companies,
Okay. Relied on
and
people visiting
they
to
wanted to help.
cater. Yeah.
Yeah, so they wanted to help and support me. So I over the summer I worked out of a commercial kitchen
So
in
you
Burford.
upscaled.
I upscaled. I was
Yeah.
able to, and they gave me the ability to do that, and I will be eternally grateful to them for
Yes.
being able to give me that opportunity because it gave me the opportunity to work out what worked, what didn't work,
Yeah.
what I could do, the numbers, sort of things I could do, and it was just an absolute godsend. It really was. And so we also borrowed a refrigerated van, and we whizzed around all the
That's true, because
Cotswolds.
how do you
Dave
deliver and
doing
everything in
my
just like, I don't know what car you've
yeah,
got, but you can't really do it
don't
in a Mini or in a
no
Ford Fiesta or
no.
something. Not quite the same thing.
So and especially in the summertime when it's hot and you've got to keep everything cold. So that sort of comes into the logistics of things. But from there, there was a natural progression. Other work commitments came up with them. I moved back into my own kitchen,
Yeah.
and nothing changed hugely. It's just my hours changed a little bit
Well,
as I
actually, well,
don't have a
you don't have any travelling to do, so that's actually quite good.
no.
Although you are getting up and then going downstairs and you are directly in your workspace, I bet you don't get a break very much, though. That's the thing.
No.
No.
What I've found we do quite often, because we've got a sort of a little snug just off our kitchen, and we used to spend quite a lot of time in there. We now go and sit in the sort of in the posh sitting room rather,
Yeah,
because
in the
it
room
feels
that
like
was just normally
I have
post 9 o'clock.
separation.
Yes, yeah, you
Christmas,
must.
yeah, it's like my
Yes, yes,
Christmas
you
room.
must.
So now I feel like we've got a bit of separation. I think it's a lot of people working from home. They feel that actually you want to spend time in different areas if you can, to have some kind of a separation from work
It's
and
true.
home.
Yes, it's true.
So
I totally believe that. I mean, I'm in my kitchen all the time, and I'm still in my kitchen now. But I like my kitchen. I like cooking as well. But tell
oh, I
me,
like my kitchen too.
let's ask a few sort of logistical questions.
Sure.
So on a Thursday, that's when your menu comes
Mhm.
out. Now let me show people what Katrina's menu kind of looks like. So this is just two examples. We've got one back from October, and we've got one actually which is for delivery next week. So this is the delights you could have
Yeah,
next
this is
week.
this
So you've
week's.
got
Yeah.
is it a 3 course, 2 course?
It's generally 2 courses.
Yep.
Sometimes I put a soup in as well. It's evolved. My whole sort of menu planning has evolved,
Yeah.
and I think that is how it's to me. That's kind of nice to see throughout all my menus that I've tried different things, and I've
Yes.
worked out it's a little trial and error to see if some things work and some things don't. And also, I think as we move through the seasons as well, it's nice to change it up quite a lot. And in the winter time, I'd put soup on and more sort of
Yes.
stewy things and
Yep.
slow
Casseroles, total
cooked,
casseroles. Yes. One
that
pot
kind of
meals,
thing.
that kind of
And
thing.
as I feel we're almost getting to that stage now, as we're moving out of that, as new, asparagus season will be upon us before we know it, and things
Yep.
like that. So we sort of move in seasonally. So my menus change with the seasons. But yes, we've sometimes I put a starter on. Generally not. I'll put a meat main, a
Yep.
vegetarian, one or two sides, and then I will always put, as I call them, my classics. So
Yes. Let's have a look at
um,
some of your food actually.
cottage pie,
Here's yes.
chicken pie.
Got you. Here's
Um,
some of your food actually that you've created over the last few months. Talking about asparagus, there we go. We've got loads of tarts
there you
there.
go. That's my
Oh my
asparagus and
God.
ricotta tarts.
I
Yeah,
can I
I
can
think that's just
imagine.
the half of them as well.
Oh God, I can imagine it is. This is just a little snapshot. You like taking photographs. Well, you've taken some glorious photographs of your food. So you've got some little pots of
Thank
what I
you.
think are pudding. You've got some cakes. They're
Yep.
vegan cakes, I believe. I learnt that this morning.
Yes,
Your
there's little
soups.
vegan carrot cakes.
Yes, and look at that root veg in those pots. I mean, that's just amazing. That
Oh,
is just fabulous
that's
stuff. It's
something I
restaurant
love.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's
Oh,
restaurant stuff that you're creating that is literally you're delivering to people's doors. So no wonder you have regular
well,
clients and clients that want to come back to you all the time. It's
but I
fabulous.
love, as I say to everyone, I really, really love what I do, and I just hope that it shows. And I think it cooking is actually, it's a very hard job if you don't love what you do, because it's many hours
Yep.
sitting on your standing on your feet. And so yes, I really I do hope that it shows. And I think
I
hopefully
think it looks
with
amazing.
so much repeat custom, I
Well,
hope
it's working, isn't it? It's
it
working. So,
shows.
so let's ask about. So your menus come out on a Thursday. You want people to place
Yes,
their order on a Sunday by 3, and then you're
yes,
delivering on
yes.
Tuesday evening. Now, how do you manage to get your orders in, make sense of them, shop, prepare, and then deliver? That's you've got like 48 hours in which to do that, and you must have to sleep. So that narrows it down as well. I don't know how you do it.
Only a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah.
um, it is. It's become quite a well-oiled machine. So yes, it's. I try during the week. I have a lot of ideas. In my
Yeah.
note, I'm going. Oh, I get inspiration from something I'm reading, a magazine. I like the idea. Something pings into my head as
Yes.
you know, as we all sort of get ideas for food. I write them down, and then that spurs me on with an idea of for menus. So I have a sort of a lovely little list of things that I want to cook. So I pick through. I decide what we're going to do. Thursday comes. I get it all into MailChimp. We send out a
Oh,
weekly
yes.
mailing. So yes, if people give us their email address, we
Great.
promise not to send anything else, but
Yes,
the menus
yes.
every week. So they go out on Thursday, and very quick behind that, I put everything up on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, so
Yep.
people can order by direct message on either platform, replying to the email on Mailchimp,
Wow, you've got to
or
have your eyes
if
open on all of these little platforms to
yeah.
make sure you're not missing anyone.
Absolutely. And if it's a new client, they get hidden in your Instagram
Yes. They might go
messages.
into your
So to
junk
look at
mail
new
as well.
requests.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we have to be quite hot on it. But people generally, if they haven't, if you haven't heard from us immediately,
Yeah.
most people do follow it up, and it has been
Yes.
some kind of
Okay.
a filter issue or something
Yeah.
like that. So menus. So as of yesterday, our menus went out. We've got orders coming in this morning. Dave
Yep.
sets up the spreadsheet, and we get everyone in dietary
Your PA.
requirements.
Yeah.
We cater for as much as we can. I like to I like to make people with dietary requirements feel very special, because it's sometimes, if it's medical issues or anything like that,
Yes.
it's so hard. And if I can do what I can, my kitchen is entirely set up to be able to keep things very separate, and allergens,
Yeah,
and
that's actually quite important. Yeah.
so it's very important for me to be able to offer that as well. And the majority of my dishes, I like to. I have a lot of gluten-free celiac clients.
I
So to be
suppose if
able
you
to offer that for them is a big
yeah,
thing.
if you make something tasty, then it doesn't matter if people that eat gluten have something that's gluten free, because the taste is still there. It's still going to be
No,
yummy. Yeah.
I actually quite enjoy that challenge of um, turning, yes, adapting something that you can make fantastic, just as fantastic without, as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really important for us to be able to offer that as well. So yeah, we go into Saturday and collecting our orders right through until Sunday. I'm at this stage normally by Saturday night. I just through experience getting ideas. I generally have quite a good idea on numbers by Saturday
Oh,
night. We
okay,
always
that's
know
good.
if some of our regulars have come in. Are we missing anyone who would say normally? You don't ever count that everyone's going to order every week, but there are
No.
few that you kind of know that are going to order by Saturday. And then I write out my lists of everything I need to order. And then as 3 o'clock comes on Sunday, I finalize my numbers. I generally probably over order by 5%, I would have said, just for late orders.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if
Please,
we
can I
don't
have
get those
something,
late, and
please?
I know, and I hate to disappoint people, I really do. Sometimes there's nothing we can do. If I get one on a
Yeah.
Monday, I just go, oh, I can't do it. I'm so sorry, because we've got everything in already. But I really try to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But Sunday comes 3 o'clock, so I go. I will whiz round if there's anything specialized I need, especially from a supermarket or anything like that. I've got an hour to whiz somewhere to go and get anything specialized
An
that I need.
hour. We're
Um,
10 minutes from
yeah,
everywhere, so you've got to make sure that you've got. I mean, I suppose actually, do you always use seasonal produce as well? Because you've got more it's more likely going to be actually in the shops for you to be able to buy.
absolutely. So what I do is, so the majority of all my fruit and veg comes from my suppliers who come directly from Vale of Evesham.
Yeah.
I also another supplier who comes up from the market, Covent Garden markets. I pick and choose where I need to get things from. As they have their farms, so anything that's seasonal comes directly from them. Also,
Yeah.
we're so lucky; we have such lovely farm shops around,
We
and
do. Yes.
I can nip up to Wyatt's and get their homegrown, their squashes and autumn
Yes.
time and things
They
like that,
always
which I
taste
know have
so
come
much nicer as well from a farm shop,
so
if you
delicious.
can. Yeah, the
Exactly.
flavours more
And then we've
intense.
got, at the moment, we've got Yorkshire rhubarb and things, so I know I can get that directly in. I try so hard to keep food miles down as much as I can, but I
Yes.
like to also create variety. So I try and find a balance between the two. So to be able
Well,
to,
yes, you've got to work to your deadline, because there really is a deadline. So to try and but the
very
thing is though,
much.
this is you learning all the time about what works and what
Mm,
doesn't work, what you can get, where you can get it from. And I can
yeah,
imagine,
yeah.
you have you ever had to repeat anything off of a menu, or have you thought, well, that really works, I'm going to go for that again? How do you actually menu
Well,
plan? I mean, do people tell you, oh, I wouldn't mind a bit of this, or I wouldn't mind a bit of that? Do you actually sort of do
well,
requests as well?
I talk with my clients. Yeah, I talk with my clients. So sometimes somebody says to me, "Oh, Katrina, I've got a birthday that week," and I go, "Okay, look, is there anything that you quite like?" I try to incorporate something so I can't. I really struggle at the moment. A lot of people ask me to do two-person dinner parties, sort of special occasion dinners, which I just
Yes.
I just can't offer at the moment. It's just unfortunate that
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense to offer that. But hopefully a little bit of compromise, and to be able to still do it is we discuss things. And if there's something that they really loved, I'll go, yeah, actually, okay, let's put that on the
Well, that's
menu
it. Well,
this week.
to cook for two with something that's sort of a more gourmet kind of menu takes as much effort and time as it
It's a
would
lot of
do to
time.
make 20 meals that are more
That's exactly right.
sort of bulk cooks. So it is. I understand it is actually quite tricky, but they can ask,
So
and you can
it's
try and juice it up somehow.
exactly. And hopefully when we all go back into well, when lockdown ends and the world opens up a bit more, those sort
Soon,
of
yeah.
occasions we'll be able to. Let's hope, yeah.
Yes,
So yeah,
indeed.
so going back to we were going back to the whole process. So all my orders go through, and then Monday morning I start cooking
Yeah.
nice and bright and early. Cook right through. Sit down, have my lunch, cook right through.
Yeah.
It's a lot of yeah, huge amount of veg prep and huge amount of basis for my sauces. I get all those done early. Anything fresh. All my desserts are getting. We do on a Tuesday. We do on Tuesday morning salads, things like that. All the
Because it's
last minute
all, because
final
everything is cooked
touches.
from fresh, isn't it? Everything. I mean, you need these
Mm,
fridges. Everything is cooked
everything,
from fresh, and then you need to
everything.
store it. But yeah,
A lot of
how do you?
a lot of
How?
my clients. Sorry.
No, I was just going
A
to
lot of my
ask. I
clients like
mean,
to freeze things, so
oh, okay.
it
So they
has to
might
be
not have it on
fresh,
the
and
Tuesday,
I make
but
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So some people like to fill their freezer.
so so just thinking about Mimi, she's what, 4, so she can't be really peeling anything
Yes.
or helping you. Dave has got sort of admin to do. Do you have anyone that
Yeah.
actually helps you do this stuff?
Yes, I do. So I have the wonderful Matilda, who finished school last summer,
Yeah.
and she's a she's very capable and a very awesome person who I absolutely adore. So she comes in and helps, and
Yeah.
is chief peeler, chopper,
I wish she. Oh,
dessert
fabulous.
maker. She's really great with instruction, and
Uh-huh.
there's a sort of little training up, and she's just really clued up. So she comes in and helps, and then also she comes on a Monday and for a few hours, and then on a
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday she comes and helps box everything up. So we
Yep.
go through all the orders, all three of us. We put everything together, we bag it all up, we label it and make it look pretty,
Yes.
make sure everyone's got the right thing, back into the fridges, and then we chill our cool boxes down. Dave has aired a map with delivery routes. So usually we have sort of 4 delivery loops each time,
Yeah.
where he'll go north, I'll go west, she goes south, and then we all sort of come back, take with our empty cool boxes again, restock, and then go back out and reconvene back here. So and it's we do it in runs so that we can keep everything as cold as we possibly can. And
Yes.
also we
Yeah.
only
In
have, like you
loops.
said earlier, we only have a limited space. So I have 3 enormous catering cool boxes, sort of kind
Yes,
of
I've
things,
seen
you
those. They're massive. Yes.
massive picnic
Yes.
sort of ones.
Yep.
And so you can fit 2 of those happily in the back of the car. And so we go off and we deliver like that.
It's amazing. And I suppose,
And if I
you
get
know,
any sleep in between, we're doing well.
bonus. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Bonus.
I'm generally up Monday. I'm up till 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
getting it all done, which
Oh, I'd say it's
it's
proper.
not fully sustainable, but I need some more oven space. This is, and I'm working on. Once I've got a new oven, an extra oven, I think
Yep.
it's in fact
Well,
putting multiple trays through an oven when I can only fit 2 in the oven. These are the sort of behind the scenes
yeah,
sort of
the niggles.
challenges that I
Yes, the
have.
challenges.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
So
I
again,
suppose.
it's just another way I do my menus. I have to gear my menus around my kitchen as well, and
Yes, that's true.
my limitations I have on my kitchen.
Where do you see so this is where you are now, stacked out with
Mhm.
orders each week. I mean, can you take on anything else at the moment? I mean, it's pretty, well, I suppose you'll have to see what happens when sort of we can all unfurl again at the end of March and into April and into May. But I can't imagine that it's going to dip down very much, because this is something that's really quite unique and fabulous that you can offer to
Mm.
people midweek. And you've got your, well, you've got a great relationship with people too.
No, definitely. I think as things unfold and open up a little bit more, I think we will definitely continue as long as people are ordering and there's
Hmm.
interest, we will continue. And how it evolves, as it was interesting to see how with the pubs and restaurants opening up, after first lockdown,
Hmm.
how we were sort of poised watching to see how that was going to affect orders and business. And we had a week of a little dip where people were keen to get out the house and
Actually, yes, physically
go
go
and eat in
somewhere.
restaurants and pubs
Yes,
again.
that
But actually, it
experience.
picked up rather quickly again afterwards. And I think the general consensus, I know we're in a very different time now to where we were a year ago. Um, the general consensus is that a lot of people didn't quite trust going out yet, and a lot of the
Yes, true.
my sort of a lot of my slightly older clients didn't
Hmm.
particularly feel that they wanted to go out, and actually to have a midweek, um, a sort of a special midweek meal every week is something. It's just sort of the next best thing, really, and to have.
Absolutely.
So I think it'll be interesting to see how things change this time around. I think because restaurants and pubs and things it will be a little bit slower opening up, I think this time. But
Yeah,
we'll
I
we'll
think
we'll see.
so.
I think there's a definite evolution of how things will go. I have a few ideas, but the general gist of things will continue. I think there will be a point where I will move out of my home kitchen, and
I
I'm
think you're
currently looking
right.
for a small
Yes.
commercial kitchen to
I
be
think
working out of.
I
And
think that'll be
that
fabulous.
is my priority at the moment,
Yeah,
really.
just moving it out of home. Keep doing what you're doing. Move it out of
Exactly.
home. And as you've
Yeah,
seen, I think your path has been quite organic with what you've done before now. One thing's led to another thing that's led to another thing. And I think that's really quite exciting for you, because everything seems to have fallen into place, and you've been keeping your eyes open of the things that you can actually, the direction that you can go in. So I think if you're already planning, it's just putting those plans in place, and hopefully it's gradually but really successfully as well. I think it's amazing. I'm so
absolutely.
pleased that there has been, that there have been some people that have done so well, because you've just changed the way you work and have welcomed the challenges. And I think you've got such great support from Dave, and the
Mm.
community that clearly love what you do. I don't think they'll be going far very soon. I mean, not
Let's
traveling.
hope not.
I don't think they'll be wandering off to
No.
do anything particularly differently, particularly quickly. So I wish you luck with everything. It's so
Thank you.
inspiring. It really is.
I think some amazing, truly inspirational things have come out of lockdown,
Yes.
on the positive side of things. And so many new businesses and little opportunities have arisen. And um, I think it can only be very positive for the industry,
Yes.
to have new starts, I think. So I feel very lucky that I've been able to do this, and I feel and I'm eternally grateful for the local community for their support, throughout all of this, to be able to help my little dream grow.
Yeah, well, it's fabulous, and it is growing, and it will continue to grow. Katrina, thank you so much. You've got loads to do today. You're in the kitchen. You can just literally turn around and start chopping. I won't take up more of your time,
I've
but
I've
thank
got
you.
30 cupcakes to ice now, so I
Oh
will
my
crack on
goodness.
with
Oh,
that.
well, at least they've cooled down and the icing won't slide off.
They have,
Well, thank you
ready
so
to
much.
go.
Yes, thank you. Oh, it's been
Thank you,
lovely to speak
Kate.
to you. I
Thank
will
you.
speak to you another time, probably very soon, about things. I want to keep in
I
touch
hope
with
so.
you, all right? And I'll tell people a little bit about how they can get hold of you, but won't delay you anymore. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your
See you
time.
soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Wow, now that's been quite an intense journey over the last year. Absolutely. I mean, it's just been a whole load of food and a whole load of organising and learning the process along the way. But for the onlooker, it's been really just professional from the outset. So actually take a look at Katrina's Instagram account. It's missingredient.co.uk. You'll see all the kinds of meals she does there, all of the menus, so you can see the kind of thing that you will be receiving. Also, there is a map of the location of where she delivers to. It's sort of around Longcompton, which is the CV36 postcode, and kind of goes about 10-15 miles each side, and that's each week. And her Facebook page is, well, Miss Ingredient as well. So have a look at it all and interact with her. Send her messages, ask her questions, that kind of thing. You might be looking to set up your own business, or you're in the food industry looking for a bit of inspiration, or you can give her ideas about where she could take her next steps. It's all about working together in this, and Katrina has found that the community have really pulled together and that she has been flourishing through nourishing. I quite like that phrase. So, perfect. Well, thank you, Katrina. Thank you very much for that. So, what have we got coming up on Monday? Well, it follows the theme of new business, if you like, or people feeling new about themselves, new ventures, new ideas, new wants, and not reinventing themselves, but going back to what am I trying to say? Going back to having the confidences to go out, spread their wings, new ventures, and starting afresh. Maybe they've been locked down at home and haven't been able to work at all, or have been furloughed, or have wanting to change direction because have been made redundant, or have been through maternity leave. All the things that have kept people at home, and how people adjust to going back out into the world again. So we will be talking to, bear with me, we'll be talking to Charlotte on Monday, Charlotte Worth Coaching. In fact, Charlotte has a website, charlotteworthcoaching.co.uk, and so check that out. What Charlotte does is she coaches people to get the best out of themselves. This isn't a reinventing. This isn't sort of therapy for people. This is helping people who have got an idea of a path they want to go down, actually facilitate that. So I think this will be a great show to watch actually on Monday. But until then, whatever you're doing, have a great time. It's now the weekend. Well, for me, it's kind of now the weekend. But it will truly start when my husband gets home from work later on. But have a fabulous few days. Do subscribe to the channel, Pink Salt Shed TV, and hit the alarm bell for notifications, because then you'll know what we're doing and when we're doing it. And thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure, and have a lovely weekend. See you on Monday.